Oh, hey guys.
Nice. Oh God.
Oh dear. Here we go. I'm with you, buddy. 3,
Quack,
2, giddy up.
quack, 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 Mr. Ducksworth.
You didn't earn that jersey, Mr. Ducksworth.
Cheers, guys. This is a Coca-Cola Zero.
I remember when Dusty was cool, man.
That was cool.
Last Thursday.
Yeah, last Thursday I was cool because I was super hungover. Today I am not because I was a responsible human being last night and it felt good.
Tell you what, we're gonna have a good day today because Tuesday sucked. I'm gonna own up to it. Hand up accountability. I think we were all out of sorts.
There's all hell breaking loose. Cleaning ladies are going on. There's construction. I got a miter saw going on outside right here. I don't even know what the hell a miter saw looks like, but I can hear it.
So today we drinking, and I appreciate Brian's. There's no pirates in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Where's our resident pirate at? Where's Paul? Where's our resident pirate at? Ahoy.
Ahoy.
We do need Paul.
Ahoy.
Ahoy. I hope he's watching this. He's probably building a deck somewhere. But anyway, guys, welcome to the Thursday edition. Welcome to the Thursday edition of Gary Williams Stole My Lawn Furniture. I know that was kind of a weird open, but intros are weird. And we're going to get this thing back on track today.
Dusty, how's White Marlin going on down here?
Let's kick that around real fast. Before we get to anybody else, what's going on with White Marlin? How are you doing? 2, what happened with the weather? And then 3, this fish that was like the 5th largest blue marlin ever caught. Can we talk about these 3 things?
Yeah. So they extended the White Marlin fishing tournament, which is normally a 5-day fishing tournament. You get to go out 3 of the 5 days. But in advance of the tournament, because of the weather forecast, they extended the fishing into Saturday and Sunday. So it's now a 7-day event. You still can only go out 3 of the days, but there's a big weather discrepancy or a big weather problem in the middle of the week. Today, I think today and tomorrow are supposed to be the worst of the 2. But only I think like 7 or 8 boats went out today.
I heard 13. I literally heard 13 while I was walking the dog, which is crazy.
Yeah, so not many. There's 282 boats registered in this tournament. Most of them went out in the first couple of days because the weather forecast this week is specifically offshore. I think they were saying the waves were going to get upwards of 8 to 10 feet offshore, which would not be fun for these fishermen who have to journey basically 3 or 4 hours out into the ocean before they even drop lines to start fishing for these big billfish. But they brought in a blue marlin the other day. I don't remember what the exact weight was, but it was something like 990 pounds. The 5th largest that's ever been bought. The 5th largest has ever been brought in the White Marlin Open. But if you guys aren't familiar, it's the biggest billfish tournament in the world. Michael Jordan is in it every year. There's a lot of the best fishermen in the world come to Ocean City, Maryland to fish in this tournament. So it's a huge week for Ocean City. Brings a ton of people into town and a ton of money into town. That's for sure. So it's been a lot of fun. It's a really busy week. So, we're working a lot. So I'm doing all right, but just working. We're good. We're excited, a little tired, but
Getting through
it.
This is money making week, baby. This is money
making season, man. I'm gonna complain that I'm tired until the cows come home. But once I sit on my pile of money at the end of the summer, I'll be fine.
You can buy a cow for you.
Yeah. So we'll hopefully.
I got a little bit of FOMO. This is for those of you who don't know, this is like my favorite week of the year, every single year, and this is like the first time of my 36 years on this planet I've probably been to like 25 or 20 White Marlin Opens. Yeah. I mean, it's rare for me not to be there for at least a day.
You've got to be just like itching when you wake up in the morning, Brooks. And also, just for clarification, what did that billfish bring in? Like $4.2 million or something?
Not anymore.
As of yesterday, as of yesterday, they brought in a qualifying White Marlin. What that means for that blue marlin is that it's a lot less valuable. I think it was estimated at that point to bring in roughly $4.4 million when it was brought in. As of the White Marlin being brought in yesterday, that that price of that fish is now probably about 1.2 million. So they've lost over $3 million but somebody brings in a better fish. That's what you just gotta hope nobody brings in a better fish.
From the
name
guy
of the
wearing
tournament's the White
shirt that says
Marlin
fish,
Open.
Yeah.
I know nothing about this tournament. So is a white marlin bigger or smaller?
Much smaller.
Okay.
A blue marlin can be upwards of 1,000 pounds. A white marlin, like a really big white marlin, is like 80 pounds.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
But
they're
It's like hunting a unicorn.
So a qualifying white marlin for this tournament is anything over 70 pounds, and I believe it has to be 70 inches long.
I think so. That's what it was last year.
But anyway, this white marlin that came in was 72 pounds as opposed to the blue marlin that was 990 pounds. But the white marlin is what the tournament is for. That's what they're trying to go get, and that's the biggest prize is going to go to that. It reverts to blue marlin after that if nobody catches a qualifying white marlin, which happens. The best 282 boats of the best fishermen in the world can't even catch one qualifying white marlin. That's how hard these fish are to catch. It's pretty ridiculous.
They catch a bunch of them and release a bunch of them. It's hard to get one that's qualifying, I guess. I think you're right. Yeah, I think you're right, Dusty. I think it's 70 inches. It's definitely 70 pounds because they had another one brought to the scales that was, I think it was like 68 pounds. It was just under, so it didn't qualify, but it qualified in the length to bring it in and weigh it. The qualifying one right now is 72 pounds, so it's literally 2 pounds over.
Over qualifying.
Yeah. I'm trying to get the estimated payouts right now. But yeah, now that white marlin's worth like 4.2 million and that blue marlin is like down to 100 or 1 point whatever.
Yeah.
But that can always change. So if there's more that come in, it also depends on your Calcuttas and stuff like that you're entered into. So
there's so many rules that I don't understand. There's like catch and release rules and like all these things.
You get points for it. Yeah.
There's so
and
many
they change
things.
They change it. They try to like listen to like the anglers and stuff like that and get their input on how they can change it for the better. So things are always, I don't know, ever changing. Like they got rid of the shark category 2 years ago because of population numbers. And I think they put spearfish in instead of it or something like that. And I mean, that could change right back once like the population of shark, because they bring in a lot of thrasher sharks and a lot of mako and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
But mako's the one that's down, I think.
But yeah, it's a fun week in Ocean City. It's a busy week. But you get through the grind of this week, and then it's a pretty smooth sailing through the end of Labor Day, and then the kids go back to school.
Has business been busy, no pun intended, but is it like a crowd that is fun, or is it a crowd that's a bunch of, I'm not going to say anything derogatory, but what I mean.
It's a little bit of both. There's definitely your fair share of drunk idiots in any crowd.
Mm-hmm.
But it's for the most part, it's a good crew. Every week kind of brings a different crowd to Ocean City, depending on what event's going on and all that outside factors. But I would say it's a pretty, it can be a pretty rough crowd late at night. Sometimes they like their drink in this crowd, I would say.
Fair enough. The stock photo that was shot of you by Christopher Merrick was gorgeous. You look like you're angry at the world.
Shout out to Chris and Annie coming in last night. That was a lot of fun. It was always great to see friends and have people come down and visit from out of town.
I saw Bengal, my JV head coach, that taught me a ton about pitching too. My JV head coach, I'm watching the Marlin cam and I just see Chris Bengal up on the screen. And I'm like, holy shit, there he is.
It's funny. I see him quite a bit, actually. We play golf together every now and then. But anyway, if
you want to transition, I'll tell you this much. I don't think there's a lot of blue marlin and white marlin in Pittsburgh.
No, I don't think there are either. But who is actually, who's not in Pittsburgh? The guy we're about to bring on. His name's Tim Mayza. What's up, Timmy? How you doing, buddy?
Hey, what's going on, guys?
Damn it.
What
I'm
are
so
you
bad
doing?
at this. I'm trying to get Tim the spotlight.
Yeah.
Tim
likes to be in the spotlight.
So a friend of the show, obviously, if you watched us for any point in time, Timmy likes to come on. I don't know if he likes it or not, but he comes on every once in a while to talk about things that going on around the league and everything like that. So, and if you haven't been following Tim this year, he got injured pretty early on in the season. So In light of one of the worst injured teams in the league with the Orioles, especially pitching, and it seems to be a constant struggle to have anybody healthy on the pitching staff. Tim has a semi-relatable injury that he's going through. So I figured it would be good to bring him on because I know we see on Twitter that Orioles fans think the whole training staff should be fired every single year whenever people get hurt. So, and it seems like there's just so many lat injuries recently. And I don't remember it ever being that way when Tim and I were pitching together. It was either shoulder or it was elbow. And that's really it. And the last 5 years, even like last 3 years, I feel like lat strains are through the roof. So Tim, if you want to let us know whatever you can about your injury and kind of how the recovery goes with that and how that happened.
Yeah. So I tore, it's kind of like a 2-part injury. I had torn teres major and then a strained lat, and they kind of work side by side or hand in hand, and pretty much do exactly the same thing. It's just one's a much smaller muscle than the other. And so kind of been out since April. It was a 8-week no throw, and then a throw in progression leading into what this week is my second full week of bullpens. Next week I'll go into live hitters, and then hopefully after that go out on a rehab assignment and be back, some point early September to be able to finish the season healthy. But yeah, there seems to be, a little bit more of you see more lat injuries now. What's the cause of it? I have no clue. I don't know if it has to do anything with chase and extension and pitching mechanics. I don't know if it has to do with some type of biomechanics with velocity. You are seeing an increase in velocities. It's and so it could be something where guys' bodies just don't hold up at these higher velocities, and you see a little bit more of the lat involvement. But I'm not the medical professional or the biomechanist to be able to diagnose this. But yeah, you are seeing a little bit more of an uptick in these type of injuries and just arm injuries in general.
You're still doing like deceleration stuff, right? That's part of the medicine ball stuff and everything. Yeah. Even like the pull down stuff that we would do at the end of long toss or whatever. That's not really the same thing, but there was stuff that we used to do that we tried to protect our arms, and especially like the backside of our shoulders. And I don't think we were even thinking about our lats at that time. But are you guys still doing that, or are you guys doing something different, or what?
Yeah, you're still doing a lot of arm care. Like, guys are still doing arm care. They're still keeping up with plyo programs. And
is it all the same? Is there a lot of different stuff now?
With med balls, there's different things. You're still using your cuff weights or your lighter weights, your 3, 4, 5 pound weights to do some shoulder work. You're training these muscles surrounding the shoulder and even the lat, and in order to withstand what you're trying to do on the mound. I think, obviously the science is a lot better these days. I truly believe that you can teach velocity or teach mechanics that should add velocity. And then it's up to, I think body type has a lot to do with how far it can go and what guys can withstand. So I generally think that your bigger pitchers are if the mechanics click, are probably going to be able to throw somewhat harder than the smaller pitchers. And I know, you saw Roy Oswalt back in the day throw, and Lincecum was even small, and he was these guys were able to throw hard. But I think it just personally think it comes with a little bit more risk as you climb with those guys who maybe aren't as big.
Yeah, there's always going to be outliers, including myself because I threw so hard at 5'11". But yeah, so if anybody's watching or anybody's watching this after the fact, and he was talking about like 3 pound cuffs and weights and medicine balls and whatever, or just weighted balls and stuff like that. Like in high school, it doesn't have to be something where you need to go out and buy like all these expensive stuff. Like we started in high school by filling up Gatorade bottles with sand and doing stuff that way. So you don't like if you have a younger kid and you're watching this, you don't need to go buy like a ton of stuff. Just starting out just by filling up dirt into a empty Gatorade bottle and just looking up a couple exercises. Start there, do something. Just because these injuries are through the roof. So, boys, you guys got anything for Tim?
I mean, you're also training guys to throw harder earlier. I think there's a little bit more to that. Guys are specializing a little bit earlier, to where guys are committed to baseball just at earlier ages. That I think there's so many factors when you look into arm injuries happening at the professional level. It's like, a lot of these guys, whether it's high school or college, just have a lot of miles on their arm by the time they get to pro ball. And then, even that, you get drafted, you're looking at, call it 4 years prior to get into the big leagues. I mean, that's 4 more years on top of, what all the pitches that you've made to get to that point. So I think you're seeing just a product of the system as a whole. But again, I mean, I velocity is king, and it will always be king. That's just something that's not going to go away. So just learning how to train and how to do it in the best way possible to promote healthy arms.
It's something you bring up velocity, and it's something also you brought up, the wear and tear on your body before you even before people can see you on camera. I mean, it's almost become like baseball's becoming an AAU sport, for lack of a better term. There's a lot of wear and tear in AAU basketball, your legs, your knees, stuff. It seems like a lot of wear and tear on your arm.
Yeah.
And given that a lot of people are sports centric now, there's singular sport, which is we've talked about this before, so I'm not going to beat a horse here. Jesus, Brooks. But do you think the wear and tear on the arm prior to getting to the show, or even in the minor leagues, for God's sakes, is a factor in all of this stuff? I think it's an easy answer, but I just want to ask you.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to say that it's not, to how much of a factor. That's I guess what's unknown is just like how much of a factor does that play into how many pitches and how many innings these guys have under their belts prior to the organization even getting them, and to getting into the training staff, and you hope that a lot of these guys have a good foundation for recovery and for arm care, but you're also you're drafting a guy based off of stuff and potential, and you're hoping that when he gets into the system and you get him on a good arm care program, that strength rises, but so does his ability to keep throwing and to stay healthy.
And I'm not comparing you to anyone else, but you are a larger guy. You're what, 6'4", I'm assuming?
6'3".
6'3", okay.
Yeah.
But you're a more linear body. Then you see guys like Gage Wood, who pitched for, I can't remember who was, Arkansas?
Yeah.
He's a smaller guy, got drafted like 23rd overall.
Yeah, and for Orioles fans, think Dylan Bundy too.
Yeah, do smaller guys have a disadvantage because he used Tim Mayza as the example, and that's why that made me think of it all of a sudden. Do smaller guys have a disadvantage given the torque and everything that goes into pitching?
I think that's what Tim was trying to get at earlier when he was talking about Oswalt and Lincecum and your example, Gage Wood. I think you're putting a lot more strain on your body than the bigger guys. I liked your comparison, Brian, to AAU. I know it's a big problem in the NBA right now with all these superstars getting injured. A lot of people are blaming it on all the miles that they have to put on themselves before they even get to college or the pros. And I think you're seeing a similar thing in baseball, but also just like everyone's trying to max out those spin rates, and everyone's trying to max out the exit velocity. And I think you start to get a little bit lost with the taking care of your arm and making sure that you're not overextending yourself or overdoing it to a certain extent. And I think a lot of people are a little bit more obsessed with chasing those higher spin rates and chasing those higher velocities and kind of lose sight of that. Do you see that, Tim?
A little bit. The spin rate conversation is one that I think early on got a lot of traction, notoriety, just of guys chasing spin rates. And to be honest, I'm not 100% sure how you do that. Mechanically, or I'm sure there's something out there, but I think spin rate is hard to chase. I think you're seeing a lot more now of guys chasing movement, in particular, like east-west type.
Yeah, but that should go hand in hand, right? Am I wrong?
I mean, your higher spin rate guys tend to be your four-seam curveball guys, and I think it's the higher those spin rates are, it's all what the hitter sees. But I think anymore you're seeing a lot more guys chase. You're seeing big sweepers and sinkers and chasing the east-west game a little bit. To where I think that plays a factor. I mean, the tech is great. Don't get me wrong. I'm a proponent of the technology, especially in a bullpen setting, and being able to evaluate outings and evaluate pitches. And you go into a pitch design session and it's like, okay, you could throw one pitch and know exactly what the movement was, change a little bit on the grip, and it can move a completely different way, and you just know pitch by pitch. But I think you're just always chasing bigger movements at higher velocities, and maybe that also plays a part into the breaking down.
What is a pitch design session? I've never heard of that in my life.
Yeah, so let's say you're going into essentially it's your standard bullpen, but with everybody's bullpen now, you have the TrackMan stuff. So you have somebody behind you that has an iPad, and it's able to tell you exactly how the pitch is moving, and the pretty close to the exact location of the pitch. So you can
shape of it, right?
Yeah. So pitch design means, like, I'll go into a session and I'll be like, hey, I really want to work on a slider today. Like, let's narrow down movement on the slider, and this is the goal of the session, is to try and match a movement profile within that bullpen. So you may use a couple different grips and throw a couple pitches with one grip, try to analyze the movement there, change the grip a little bit, try to see if that matches pitch shapes, and so we call that a pitch design session, just because your focus is movement of one singular pitch most of the time.
Yeah, so this stuff wasn't around for any of us when we were. So this is like new to me as well. So I got questions as well, since I never got to like throw and then go look at the numbers and figure out why stuff happens the way that it does. So you were saying like the higher spin rate guys are usually like your four seam and your curveball guys. And so with a higher spin rate on a two seam, like if you went and looked at, like, I don't know, whoever has the best, like some of the best sinkers and two seamers in the league, are their spin rates on their two seamers going to be higher than, like, say, yours or whoever else? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean,
does that matter on the two seamer, or is it just on like curveball, fastball?
I wouldn't know. For me, I've rarely looked at spin rate.
Okay.
I'll go into a session and for a sinker, I will try to. There's a certain threshold. Usually for me, it's 10 on the vertical, where it's like, I want the sinker to be below 10. That way it gets a little bit more depth, and has that kind of downward action. Anything above 10, it flattens out and becomes more of a running two seam than a true sinker. And then guys have various shapes of sliders. Usually I try to throw.
Why there's a sweeper now?
Yeah, so there's a sweeper, which tends to have positive, for the most part, positive vert, and just like a lot of horizontal. A lot of your gyro sliders that are classified as gyro sliders are anywhere close to 0-0 on that movement. I mean, give or take.
So 0-0 is completely horizontal, correct?
So if you're looking at the axis,
negative will be like depth. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah. So if you're looking at the axis here, like 0-0 is right in the middle of where the X and Y come together.
Okay.
for me.
So that's zero movement.
Yeah, essentially. I mean, so for a sinker, I'm chasing negative horizontal. That means it's moving left. Positive means it's moving right from the pitcher's standpoint.
Mm-hmm.
Moving right. Okay. Yeah.
Anything with negative on vertical means to the hitter it's got downward action. So your curveballs usually have big negative vertical numbers.
Yeah.
Your elite four seams are something that have high vert and as close to zero horizontal as possible are for the most part your elite four seams, and everything kind of goes, again, to my knowledge, it's like your average four seam is 12-12, so 12 vertical, 12 horizontal. It's kind of your average four seam, so everything kind of plays off that. Yeah, you get deep into like science when you're looking at these iPads in between pitches.
Well,
who would have thought slope would come into our lives at this point?
I need to get my TI-84 out for this.
Yeah,
but it's super interesting because I feel like Major League Baseball here for a little bit, and I feel like we're kind of transitioning back a little bit, but for a little while, like Tim said, we were starting to. I feel like a lot of people were starting to chase like a lot more horizontal movement. Whereas like I was always a big believer in, I want vertical movement. I want some kind of depth on my pitch. Like if I'm sitting like, and this is like dumb science, me thinking as a pitcher, right? So like if Dusty's up to bat or like a right-hander's up to bat, he's left-handed, you're all left-handed. But if there's a right-hander up to bat and I'm facing him as a righty, and they're coming through the swing and the swing plane is flat, right? If I throw a great cutter or if I throw a great two-seamer and it stays horizontal, I can miss that barrel and still have a bloop single or something like that. You can there's just so much more room for error on the hitter side. Like it helps the hitter out so much more. Whereas if I have depth, I can miss up or down and get a pop-up or a ground ball and have an out instead of like still finding some decent wood and getting pissed off because somebody just hit a fucking duck fart off of you over the second baseman's head. That was my whole thought process. So when sweepers and like horizontal movement started coming into play, I understand it like on the outside of the plate when you're getting people to chase. But I like depth more. I've always been more of a depth guy.
And this is where it kind of, transitions into the ABS system.
No, I'm not saying it.
But
like you see ABS come in and you see the challenge system and I know umpires, when as soon as the strike zone got put on TV, umpires started getting, criticized at a higher rate. But these guys, to their credit, like pitching guys are throwing nastier pitches and guys are throwing harder and they still for the most part get majority of the calls right. And the strike zone, guys are just more aware of the zone. I think, with ABS, there's just a better knowledge of the zone. So as pitchers, you're trying to chase, either a strike to ball pitch that stays in the zone longer and ends up off, or you're chasing ball to strike. And it's like, that's where the East-West game comes into play. Is like, well, if I can make this pitch appear to start farther off the plate and he just gives up and it ends up back on the plate, well, that works more in my favor. And if a pitch starts middle in to like, if I'm left-handed and I throw, a two seam that starts middle in and I can get the hitter to commit. And by the time it reaches him, it's a ball off the outside and he hits a ground ball. So that's where you see guys chasing the East-West and the strike to ball or the ball to strike.
That's where it makes sense. And we've talked about it with you before. Like the cut in the corners was a huge deal and something that like when we used to read our articles about Greg Maddux and stuff like that.
And you took it out of my mouth, dude.
I mean, he'd sit there and like
I recently rewatched One of a Kind, and he said to Eddie, was it Eddie Perez, his catcher? I want to make balls look like strikes and strikes look like balls. And he said he used to actually work on pitches. Not Tim, this might come to you right here. Is there a different grip? because Greg Maddox said he worked on grips where he would have the same pitch, which would go out to in, and then the same pitch in to out. So it would curve out of the plate, or then it would curve around the plate.
Yeah,
and he was throwing lower velo at the time.
Yeah,
just San Diego days.
No. Like late Braves days.
And I think like he's reliant on that catcher being honest with him on what the shapes look like, whereas now we just have confirmation.
Yeah.
Where I don't have to ask the catcher anymore. I could turn around and be like, what was the shape of that? Was it a strike? Was it a ball? And and right there, there's a guy next to me who's giving me all this information. You know, and I think that, you know, to that effect too, the bigger breaking balls, the breaking balls with more depth, you know, your curveballs that start middle to middle down and end up in the dirt. You know, those play as well. Like anything that appears for a strike for a long time and ends up out of the zone, you know, is beneficial. So,
and before we get into more ABS stuff, I just one more thing on pitch shape stuff. There's, and you were talking about it with like catchers. Like, I mean, this is why you've probably seen, like, if you go to a game, or if somebody's throwing a bullpen before a game and you're there early, they're asking the catcher, or if they're throwing a flat ground, they're asking whoever's catching the ball, like, what's that doing? What's that look like? Because we can't, like, as pitchers, a lot of us, not everybody, some people can tell. I couldn't really tell. So I had to like ask, like, hey, what did that look like? Was that good? Was that shit? Maybe shit. But a lot of times it was shit. But like you're sitting there tinkering and you're playing with grips, and you, like Tim said, you have to rely on your catcher. And I know a lot of people transitioning into the ABS stuff kind of think like it's going to take away from a lot of what the catcher does. I mean, Tim and I had catchers in college that like were vastly different in terms of either how they call games or what information they're giving you. So even though they're not going to be able to impact it as much in terms of like framing and everything like that, they still have a better vantage point of like what hitters are doing in the box, which is something that like I miss a ton and hurt me a lot when I was in college, because like when I had Miles behind the plate, like I felt like I didn't have to worry about the batter. He'd just come and tell me like, hey, here's what he's doing. Here's how we're going to attack, blah, blah, blah. But like when other catchers, they're just not paying attention, and I just won't pick it up. And I had to start paying more attention to that. And then when Miles moved into like the GA role, I had to come in the dugout and be like, hey, Miles, here's what I'm seeing out there, just so you know when you're calling the game. Catchers can really take a ton off of the mind of a pitcher when they're doing shit right.
Yeah, and to that point as well, that's where, you know, like hitters tracking as well. Like you hear about guys throwing IBPs at the beginning of spring. You know, the brutal honesty if you're working on a new pitch or if you're trying something new with an existing pitch of what that guy in the box is seeing. I mean, you hear it. You know, I hear stories a lot of kind of, you know, one example would be Bregman. You know, I've heard guys would be working on new pitches and Bregman would be like, well, throw it, you know, and you throw it and he'll give you his brutal, honest opinion. I mean, he's probably going to take it, you know, but he's going to tell you,
he's going to watch it.
Yeah. He's going to tell you if it's going to work or not, you know, based off if he is going to swing. So there's just got to be a lot of honesty and from the pitcher standpoint, some self-coaching. So, you know, and that's where, you know, that communication really helps that sometimes the TrackMan isn't giving you is that like, well, what are you seeing in the box?
Even playing catch, man. Like I play catch with Dustin and try to work on like two seamers and stuff like that. And I'd be like, what'd that do? And he'd be like, fucking nothing. Or he'd be like, it cut. Or he'd be like, it cut. And I'm like, how the fuck is that cutting?
Yeah.
So
Something,
it's go ahead, Brian.
It's okay. I mean, are you hearing, or what you go through with your teams? Is it more velocity, or is it changing speeds? Now, I know they're both important, but is there one that's more beneficial, or they're factoring in more?
It depends on what kind of pitcher you are. Sorry, Tim, to steal your thunder, right?
No, yeah.
I feel like if you're a power guy, then you're going to be worried more about velocity than mixed up speeds, as opposed to a Greg Maddux type. Right?
Fair enough. To give context to what my question is I watched Scoble talk about, I think it was Sanchez from the Phillies. Scoble was in the dugout, and they have dominant changeups. And I think at that time, Sanchez, during the game while pitching, had like 16 swing and misses on his changeup specifically. Now, he still throws 94, 95, but his changeups are like 80, 83, 84, 85, 86.
Yeah.
So the changeup was a more beneficial pitch to him than the 95 mile-an-hour fastball. Mm-hmm. So that's why I'm asking.
Yeah, I changing speeds is always going to be a factor. At higher velocities, if you're talking a guy who's 98 and his slider's 91, well, no matter what pitch you're throwing, the reaction time has to be on point to be able to hit. It's also what's a guy's identity. Sanchez is a sinker changeup guy, and he just the way his mechanics and his arm work, he does really well pronating and getting pitches to move arm side. So for his game, it might be a little bit more of changing speeds, knowing that no matter what, I can get the pitch to go arm side, and that's my strength. Now it's can I make that pitch look the exact same and 8 to 10 miles an hour slower off his heater? I don't know what his slider's like.
Did you ever throw a 2-seam in college? I feel like you were always 4-seam.
No, I was always 4.
But you always had arm side run 4-seam.
Yeah.
So you were the same way.
Yeah, and so it depends. Every pitcher's different. Some guys are blessed and they can make the ball go, sliders, cutters, 4-seams, and kind of can make the ball move glove side really well. Other guys can make the ball go arm side really well, and I think it's just honing in on your identity and becoming really good at it.
Yeah, I would agree with you. Going back to some injury stuff, kind of why we brought you on.
Mm-hmm.
When you injured yourself, was it during a game? Was it playing what did you notice? Because we've all felt like that lat soreness and stuff. Was it just soreness, or did you know right away, or what?
So it was on the last pitch of an outing, and it wasn't it felt like a pretty big stretch. I didn't think that it was as serious as the MRI showed.
Like a tweak.
Yeah, I felt pretty sore the next day, and just felt like a big stretch, and so didn't get confirmation until the MRI. But I thought in a day or two maybe I'll be all right. And
did you feel like you could keep throwing though, if you had to?
I didn't try. I was done.
Okay.
And so we got checked out pretty much right away, and went from next steps from there. But yeah, it's I think you guys mentioned training staffs earlier, and these guys are the professionals, and they have a job to do as well, which is get you back healthy. You don't want to put a guy at risk coming back of re-injuring himself first outing out there. So I think these guys have a lot of experience at this point with pitching and arm injuries in general, and there's a process. And I think a lot of pitchers will tell you that it tends to be slower than they might like.
Yeah.
I think every athlete coming back from an injury is if I can throw the ball 90, let's speed it up. But it takes a little bit longer than that. And as much as I want to be back on the mound and competing, there's definitely a process to getting this right and to hopefully having some more longevity from it.
Do they have anything to do with your injury prevention to begin with? Are they putting those plans in place, or are those coming from the organization, just from people who don't know?
You're talking arm care stuff?
Yeah, all arm care stuff. So you came into Pittsburgh this year. Let's just say you're 100% healthy, ready to go, right?
Yeah.
Does the training staff have anything to do in terms of arm care stuff and keeping you healthy? Obviously they do after outings, icing, blah, 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 whatever you need, but they're not putting together your plan. And are they?
They're having that conversation. So, even when I went from Toronto to New York to Pittsburgh, like every training staff will sit you down and be like, hey, what's your arm care routine look like? What do you like to do? And then, if they think of something along the way, because that could change based off of, hey, I've been getting sore here. All right, let's change up your arm care, for the next couple of weeks to see if we can build some strength there. So every organization asks kind of what your routines are, what do you like to do, post outing, pre outing, arm care wise. And then throughout the year, if you start getting fatigue in some areas, because they're doing some testing too on shoulder strength and that kind of stuff. And if they notice fatigue, it's like, well, let's try this in your arm care and see if we can get these numbers up. So it's changing based off what they're seeing from some of the testing they do.
Interesting. And when you say arm care, is that just post pitching?
There's some
recovery
prep stuff. Yeah,
recovery,
there's some prep
so it's pre as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, like they'll add a couple exercises pre, like before you do your bands and your stretching and your plyo balls. Like there'll be some stuff in the weight room that they add to hopefully prep the arm a little better, and then as well as post. I'd say guys for the most part have like 3 days. There's 3 in the routine. They'll have like a post pitch day, like post competition day. They'll have like a day after, and then they'll have so 3 days, and they'll alternate those. So one's going to be a light day, one's going to be like a heavy arm care day post pitch, and then the next day is like, well, if I'm not down, but I got to be ready for the next day, kind of like a medium, type of arm care day.
Interesting.
Gotcha.
ABS.
Yeah, let's get it.
You've dealt with it before. How do you like it?
He's going to see it again here in a couple of weeks when he comes out and visits me.
How do you like it? One. Secondary question. What is the feeling around the league?
So I think if there was a preference, guys prefer the challenge system over just full ABS, where the TrackMan calls every ball strike. I think guys prefer there to be some flow to the game with the challenge system. And I mean we had the challenge system in spring. The catchers still have some value to where it's up to the catcher to the I'll tell you this, the challenge system, like I wouldn't challenge ever. Like I think I would be terrible at challenging with all the limbs moving around and having to deliver a pitch. Like I think I lose track of like where balls and strikes are at times, where I'll think a pitch is close and I'll be like, man, where'd you get that? It's like, Tim, that's 2 balls outside. Like that's not. I'm like, oh man, all right. Well, I just have, because I'm like, well, I squared you up, and it was like, yeah, I was set up a bit off. I was like, okay. So I think pitchers, unless they're really good, I could see where catchers do most of the challenging, just because they're there and they have probably much better knowledge of the zone than, catching and receiving has gone way up to where these guys in the receiving can make anything look like it's like a strike, it seems.
Let's put a pin in that, because I want to get back to that at some point. So guys, remember that with catching. Well, before we keep going. So,
yeah.
What is the difference between the challenge system and the ABS system?
They're both. So ABS is just like, an umpire has something and from up top he's getting told whether it's a ball or strike. So he has no input in any pitch that happens to the game. He's being told whether it's a ball or a strike. Whereas the challenge system is the umpire calls the game. So he's calling it, and then either the hitter, pitcher, or catcher have the ability to challenge a ball or a strike.
And you only get so many, and then based on if you win it, you get another one or whatever.
Yeah, so you get, I think it's like 2 or 3 is what you get as a team. So there's where some strategy comes in. 2 outs in the first inning, and you want to challenge. You better be right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
because if you get it
It's
right,
like first half. Yeah, it's like first half, second half challenges in football. Like, better not be losing some of those timeouts.
Yeah, so that's where there's a little bit of strategy in it, in terms of how you want to use those challenges, and I think teams, if they do implement it, will definitely have meetings on maybe who's allowed to challenge, what situations they would probably like to challenge, as opposed to just having it be a free for all. But I think guys prefer that type of system over the ABS. I like the game how it is. I like the chess game that sometimes you got to play. And hey, if an umpire's giving me this spot and he's giving it to me over and over again, well, then take advantage of it.
As pitchers, we like it at times.
Yeah. But going back, like, I think, umpires, they take a lot of grief, but these guys, for the most part, are pretty spot on with the zone. And I mean, when you're talking misses, it's rare that they have egregious misses. But I think that's what the challenge system is.
You see the Orioles one earlier?
No, but I think that's what the challenge
I'll
system
send it to you.
going to remove is the big time.
Yeah, that's what it's. I think that's what it's there.
Yeah.
I would ask to like a favor right now. Just
you would ask to like a favor?
I'm going to ask to like a favor. Yeah, from right field. The first time you challenge, can you just send us the jersey, please?
I got some jerseys I need to.
I'm gonna go crazy.
Yeah, just tap.
I need to send Tim.
That's our jersey. Here we go. Bring it on.
Yeah.
We'll make a mannequin.
I got jerseys I need to send Tim anyway to get signed anyway. So
it's like that jersey when you get ejected.
Oh yeah.
That's
you gotta keep that thing, man.
Yeah.
Keep that thing.
Hey, this was the jersey the umpire threw me out in.
So I'm in agreement with and if you, Brian and Dusty, when we were talking about Manfred when he was on McAfee's show during the All-Star game, and he basically said like, hey, it's not going to get past the point of just a challenge system because he does not want to get rid of umpires in their decision making, which I like. And I know I'm trying to think, like, as a fan now, I think the challenge system is the way to go. Just because, I mean, we've seen it, and I'm sure every fan of any team has seen it with any team. Like, you get some of these calls that are just like game-changing calls at times. But as a pitcher, like if I was still like in Tim's shoes and I'm trying to get a couple balls outside, and I've established that with the umpire, like, fuck yeah, sign me up. I'm going to run that out there whenever I can, and I'm going to keep teasing it. I mean, college umpires suck, right? Because I mean, I made a living off of getting 6 balls outside at times. So,
but I think one thing we forget there, and I'm just talking to Brooksy and Dusty here, is the umpires have a union as well, and they're not going anywhere. So,
I agree.
The ABS system sounds like it's what it's going to be, and they hate calling it.
Well, I think it's the college, or that's not. It's the challenge system, not the ABS system.
Oh, okay.
So ABS would be like robot umpires, basically. They'd still be there, but they'd be like, that was a strike or a ball in their ear, and then they make the
Think
call.
of like the tennis thing where it says in or out. It's just
Hawkeye.
basically that. Yeah, it's just a Hawkeye, and they just say yeah.
So I mean, I'm trying to get used to this terminology.
I know. That. So it's kind of
because it's the same thing, right? It's just like you challenge it. It's still the ABS system, but it's not like full on ABS. Repitch.
Yeah, but that pops up on the Jumbotron. Like, so let's say hitter challenges. Everybody looks at the Jumbotron and the ball comes in, and it either like will clip the zone and it'll light up red and it's a strike. So, I mean, sometimes you're watching a game and it's a big spot and a guy challenges. Like everybody's glued to that Jumbotron. But yeah, I mean,
we gotta hack that system, man. We gotta hack that system and move the ball just a little bit, you know?
I think there's some, I don't know how like the zones are going to be measured. I think it's a certain percentage of your height is what a lot of hitters.
That was my question. Yeah.
So that's another thing, you know, where I know guys get measured in spring for their zone. But I think it's like a certain percentage of their height.
Yeah, I think when Tim, when you came on in spring training, I think we talked about this because I was wondering this question as well. Like, how do you like obviously you can't just throw a box up there for Jose Altuve and then Aaron Judge, right?
Yeah.
I mean, there's a foot, like 2 feet difference there. And it depends on their stance and everything else, right? But I think you actually told us this because I had no idea about this, that they take it like as if you're just standing upright, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they just measure from your knee to your letters, correct? And then that's what they actually take the measurements, and then that's what's used as the box now.
Yeah, they take the measurements. So they take your measurements, and I don't know if it's and I gotta like double check, but I'm pretty sure it's a certain percentage of your height that they use to generate that box.
See, that's off too. I mean, people got longer legs. Like obviously your legs are much longer than mine. I got short ass fucking legs, and
Yeah,
that's, I don't know.
but
I don't know if I like that.
Yeah, there'll be some stuff to work out, but I think that's why they tried it in spring training, was to see what the general consensus was throughout the league on how they liked it. But
and you guys remember when we went down to Orioles spring training that they were working on it in spring training during live BP, where guys were seeing pitches from guys throwing live to them, and they were working on the challenge system. Like they would tap their, basically say like tap their helmet. Like I think that might have been a ball. It was called a strike. And they look over at whoever the guy who had the laptop is, and they're like, that was a ball or a strike or whatever, and let them know. So they're trying to get a feel for it. I know they're trying to get a feel for the zone as well. I know that's what they're working on as well, but I'm sure they know it's coming.
What's the feel around the league? I mean, just if you took a temperature, is it like an 8 that they like, or a 8 that they hate? I don't know.
I think it probably depends on who you're talking to. I mean, if you're a team that just came out of a tough series where they felt like, there were some calls that didn't go their way, they may be like, can't wait for the challenge. But I think the feeling is like that it will remove the really bad calls. So I think that's what guys are trying to chase down.
I agree.
And so I think that's where it comes into play. I don't, you're not removing umpires, and you're only getting 2 challenges, so you better use them wisely. So I don't think we're going to see like a challenge every at bat unless it's that bad. But I think it just removes some of the really bad calls or really missed calls. Which I think guys are fine with.
Or middle, which we saw the other day with Zach Eflin.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Maybe
you guys
go some bad umpires.
Oh my God. Do you guys have any more technical, serious questions before we loosen this up a little bit?
Yeah. Have you ever walked a guy with the bases loaded intentionally?
Intentionally?
Mm-hmm.
No, but in Atlanta, we had a base open. This is when pitchers hit. We had a base open. I think there might have been 1 out, and Dansby Swanson was hitting 8th. We walked Swanson to get to the pitcher, base loaded 1 out.
That makes sense.
And that was the one and only time I faced a pitcher in the box, and I was so nervous, like. Just
better get this guy out.
Really?
You gotta throw it. Just like throw it in the box. Like, come on, you gotta just like
right down the dick.
Yeah, like 80%. Like, get it in there.
Dude, I can imagine like you're just like, man, if I can't throw a strike here, I look like a dick. It's like it's like when somebody squares around a bunt and you're just like, all right, all I gotta do is throw a strike, right? And we're crashing at third. This is automatic out. He's literally just trying to move a guy over. He's sacrificing himself, and you can't throw a strike. And you've seen it so many times in practice and PFPs and in defensive drills. Like there's certain guys who just mentally can't get past that.
Yeah.
And I would be probably the same way. It's like if I walk the fucking pitcher, that's going to be on my mind for years.
I'm not walking back to the dugout.
Yeah.
I'm just going to walk straight out to the bullpen.
Yeah.
That's
have you ever walked a pitcher?
No, that was the only time I faced him.
Who was it? Do you know?
It was Mike Fultonevich.
Oh, okay.
What a name, by the way.
Mike Fultonevich.
How do you remember that, dude?
Yeah. So intentionally put Dansby Swanson on to get to Fulton Evich.
How terrified would you be going up to bat right now?
Would I be going up to bat?
How terrified would you be? On a scale of 1 to 10?
Oh, have you gotten at bat? I don't even know. Have you gotten at bat?
Did you
No.
see there's a video of Dallas Braden getting into the box against Mason Miller in like whatever their warehouse that Dallas Braden does his podcast out of. And he's just like, he sees the first pitch and just runs out of the batter's box. He's like, nope,
I'm good.
Yeah. I mean, it would have to be a righty because I would be scared to death.
Oh, you're playing matchups now?
Yeah, like Gregory Soto, like no.
Yeah.
Well, it's coming at your head.
Yeah.
Unintentionally coming at your head.
It could be going anywhere, quite literally.
But
Yeah, depending on the
righty-
day. Yeah. But, I mean, that dude, I talked a lot of shit. Like, I think the last time Tim was on, we were talking, it was right after or during when we were at spring training, right? Tim, do you remember?
Yeah.
Sometime around that time. And we had just seen Gregory Soto throw live. And that same thing
Didn't he
that
hit two
I was just
guys?
talking about.
He hit Ramon and Gary Sanchez, I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah. And I mean, I was sitting there watching his pit. Like, I was like, this guy's barely probably throwing 90. It like looked like dog shit. Like everything he threw looked like dog shit. I'm like, how, like, this guy's a major league pitcher. And then obviously first outing, he comes out and he's like burning 98, 99, 100 miles an hour. And I'm like, okay, either
Yeah,
I
it's a
can't see anymore. Either I can't see anymore, or he's just going like 80% working on
Going
God
through the
knows
motion.
what.
That guy's a multi-time
Yeah.
all-star.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wish I had his talent, but yeah.
Especially left-handed.
Good
Oh,
Lord, man.
Well, the
Yeah.
reason I asked Tim the question about intentionally walking somebody with the bases loaded is, and before Tim leaves, and I know he's leaving us soon here, is I watched the Little League World Series the other day. It was Lake Mary, Florida, who won the Little League World Series last year versus some team from South Carolina. To give context to this entire story is Lake Mary, Florida had outscored their opponents on the way to this game, which was to win the championship to go to Williamsport. They had outscored them 106-6. They were winning 4-0 in the bottom of the sixth inning. You only play 6 innings in the Little League. Somehow, miraculously, South Carolina gets 3 guys on base. Their best hitter comes up, who had hit 2 home runs in the previous game. So they intentionally walk him. So now it was 4-1, then it became 4-2. To some little kid who is built like the size of my thumb. And the best part of this is when they intentionally walked this kid, someone references, the only time I've ever seen this is when Barry Bonds got walked. And you know who was calling the game? The guy who walked Barry Bonds.
No way.
Greg Olson. Greg Olson.
No
Greg Olson.
way.
Or Memorial Grade.
He goes, I actually can give you a
He's going
story
into the
about
Hall of
this."
Fame.
Yeah.
He's going to the Orioles
not
Hall of Fame
only-
this weekend, I think.
Now, I'm sure it's happened before, or maybe even since, but the fact that the most popular one and the most memorable one is that Barry Bonds got walked with the bases loaded was by Greg Olson while with the Arizona Diamondbacks with Buck Showalter as his manager. Then he's calling the game of a Little League World Series where he was. This is dead
That's pretty
serious.
crazy.
Wow.
It's
Did
nuts.
in the game, or did the little kid hit a dinger?
He hit a 3-run double and they won the game. And
Are
they
you
hit 5
serious?
runs. Dead
Oh
serious.
no, dagger! If you're a
Dude.
coach, that's a coaching nightmare.
Oh my goodness.
Tim, did you play like actual Little League World Series rules until you were 12, or did you move up fast? Did you go to 70 foot
Yeah.
bases or whatever?
Yeah, I think we went to 75. We are in Little League when you got to 12, I think like the 12U travel, by the end of it, you were at 75. So our big thing was at our Little League was to go to Cooperstown, Dreams Park.
Mm,
Yeah.
They have like big tournaments every week, I think. At the time, there was 90 teams a week going. I'm pretty sure it's gained popularity and more teams now. But yeah, that was our big thing.
Dusty, I think Dusty, you set a couple records up at Cooperstown when you were up there, weren't you? Didn't you?
I threw a no-hitter.
Oh yeah.
Well,
I
that's
threw
a
a
good one.
no-hitter.
There you go.
And I hit a couple homers.
Couple dingers.
Yeah, I don't know if I said anything.
This humble Huckleberry over here.
Yeah.
I was like 10 years old. It's a lot easier to throw.
You got a couple records. Well,
no-hitter
no
against
hitter.
a group of 10-year-olds.
And hit 2 dogs.
I think I walked like 5 dudes. I was like Urban Santana.
Yeah, I remember that. Dusty always threw. He was the guy in Little League that that threw harder than everybody else, but obviously had no idea.
I was the Gregory Soto of Little
Yeah,
League.
strikes were a problem. Strikes were a problem.
Has everyone been in Cooperstown here? Except me?
Well, we played the tournaments there. Wait, what do you mean? Like going to the museum?
I've never been to Cooperstown, period.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah. I've been 3 or 4 times. Yeah.
You been, Tim?
Yeah.
Yeah, the reason why I asked him, because like so many guys like Tim have moved out of Little League ball into like the 75-foot bases, 80-foot bases, whatever I forget what the intermediary is. There's like two different ones before you go to 90, maybe even just one. But like I feel like Dusty and I were like two of like the last people, and obviously there's still people who do it today, but a lot of like these good guys who like they go do travel ball and stuff like that, they're not going to be eligible to go to the College World Series because they don't play Little League rules. We were some like the last people who played like the Little League rules, and I feel like people move up way faster now than we did.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of the best players are just they're gonna fast track them as much as they can with all the information and stuff we have now.
Well, I mean, if you go from 60 feet to 90 feet, I mean that game,
that's a big jump.
That game slows down so much.
Yeah,
like at 60 feet being 12, like you can fly around the bases and steal.
No leading off.
Like it's such a like faster game, and then once you go from 60, like even 60 to 75, it slows down, and then think about like at 12 going at 60 feet to then 13 being like, all right, here's 90
feet.
I mean,
yeah.
That's a tough transition.
60 feet, you're taking every extra base you can. You're trying to force throws in there. And stuff like
you're
that.
playing like men's. Like if you've ever played like men's league softball these days, that's like how it was in Little League back then.
Yeah, Brooks. I remember the first time I played men's league softball with Brooks. I was like, I stopped at second base and like the ball, I could have clearly gotten to third or something like that. And he looks at me when I got in the dugout, and he was just like, whenever you can take an extra base, just fucking go, dude.
Well, also one of the hardest things about men's league baseball, coming from like guys who have played real baseball on like 90-foot diamonds, is like a lot of times like they put us in the outfield because we usually have the best arms, and it's so hard to have a guy like halfway between second and third as you're catching a ball or as you're fielding a grounder in the outfield and not just throw a missile to home plate.
Yeah,
which you obviously have never thrown. Like, I mean, we play catch, we warm up, or no matter how long you've played, throwing a softball accurately is not something we've done our entire life.
Yeah.
So it's usually winding up halfway up the backstop.
Yeah.
But it's going to look great, but you're never going to get that dude. You're never going to get that guy out. And if you do, the guy's taking second base every single time, no matter what. Like there's no cutoff. Like it's
a Ferrari with no engine, dude. Hit the cut, man, dude. Come on.
It's one, because like when you're in the outfield, it looks so good, right? You're like, oh, dude, this guy's fucking done. Yeah. And I get to, and I get to show it off like I was in the glory days, you know.
But, hey Tim, enjoy your time in Florida, man, dude. It looks like you have a fun apartment. I don't think you brought that plant that has to be stationed there.
You got to go somewhere, Tim. Or are you done for the day?
No, I'm done.
All right, see, Tim can stick around. What are you talking about?
You're gonna hear a bunch of hodgepodge.
There we go.
One thing I wanted to do while we have everybody here, since Tuesday was such an embarrassment, can we do an immaculate grid with the four of us?
Sure.
And beat our score from last Thursday.
Absolutely.
Did you guys do it on Tuesday? Was it bad?
Yeah. We missed three. We missed 3 boxes. Awful. We didn't even finish it.
I think we misspelled pool holes.
You don't know how to spell pool holes?
It was bad. So let me bring that up because Tim is actually pretty good at some of this knowledge stuff.
Some of this knowledge stuff. Tim might be an answer.
Some of this
Tim would be a very rare answer, probably.
So he would. Some of this baseball knowledge. Oh, there is a Pittsburgh one. Oh no. Oh shit, it's Pittsburgh, Arizona. All right, let me share my screen.
Pittsburgh, Arizona, Mark Melanson.
Tommy Pham.
Tommy Pham.
Tommy Pham was an answer last week or on Tuesday, one or the other.
There's got to be more Pittsburgh, Arizona than that.
All right, here we go. What comes to mind right away? I'm going to say Houston 200 wins is right. Oh, where'd it go?
Where'd it go?
Why did it stop sharing? Probably hit something. Share screen. Share the window. Share the Immaculate Grid. And we're back. Get this ad off the screen. Get out of here.
I immediately think Greinke for Arizona, Houston, but that's probably going to be like the most popular one, so I'm going to keep thinking.
Probably. Or
Christian Walker.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That's a good one.
South Carolina.
Yeah.
Berkman, Bagwell for Houston, Harmony RB. Carlos Lee, he'll probably be a pretty rare one. He definitely did that. He was really good. Right, Houston. El Caballo.
Oh, yeah. But I don't remember him playing for Arizona.
No, for Houston.
Houston and Arizona. Oh, 100 RBI. Okay.
I'm just throwing out names. We don't have to.
Tim, so you're aware of how the Immaculate Grid works, right?
Yeah.
So we get 9 choices. There's 9 boxes. We want to get them all right, but we want to get the rarest one
for each box.
The
lowest score is the best.
The lowest, the most rare, most picked person.
Okay.
For each one. So even though we have answers, we're kind of going to brainstorm here for a second and see if we can get a better one.
Bottom left, I like Melanson. I didn't know Tommy Pham played for both of those teams.
Tommy Pham played for Arizona. I didn't know he played for Arizona either.
Yeah. Yep.
Tim would know better than us, but
that's probably a good answer.
A's in Arizona.
A's 100 RBI season. Chris with a K Davis had a 40 homer season. He's got to be pretty rare on there.
Eric Chavez. He's probably higher.
He's probably gonna be high.
Yeah.
Do Chris with a K Davis.
Canseco, McGuire, Giambi,
Miguel Tejada.
Jermaine Guy, maybe.
That was when Tejada was putting up almost 200 RBIs a season. So Chris with the K Davis, you think is
I know he had a 40 homer season. If he didn't have 100 RBIs in that season, I don't know what to say.
Yeah, that's embarrassing.
Chris I think there's an H.
There's an H.
3%.
Yeah,
I like 3%.
that.
I like that.
Yeah. He hit 247 3 years in a row. Exactly 247. Was it? Same batting average 3 years in a row. Yeah.
That's a trivia question right there.
I think it's 247. Let me look. Make sure.
How do you remember that?
It is 247. 4 years in a row. Sorry, not 3. 4 years in a row. He hit 247 on the net. 2015, 16, 17, and 18. In 2014, he hit 244.
Jesus Christ.
It's a model of consistency at the plate.
Where did Chris Davis go after the A's? Because I feel like he fell off as soon as he left the A's.
California Penal League.
And he went to Texas for a half a season and got traded back to the A's and then retired. That was it.
Hey, going back to Roy Oswalt, did he have 200 career pitching wins?
I don't know. I was thinking about him. I was also thinking about big hit.
I think he pushed for 300, I believe, but I'm not.
I mean, Nolan Ryan's going to be.
Tim, don't look it up. We're not looking these up.
We don't look these up.
Clemens
Nolan
Pettit.
Ryan's the easy one.
Yeah, Nolan Ryan, Clemens Pettit.
Clemens is the easy one, yeah.
Verlander, definitely.
Yeah.
I don't know if Garrett Cole has 200 wins yet. I wouldn't think he does, but that would be a Pittsburgh answer. Pittsburgh's going to be the hardest one. Did AJ Burnett get 200 wins? I don't think so.
No, I don't think so either.
There's
so many good guys that started their career in Pittsburgh as pitchers.
I know, but I can't think of any that would have 200 wins. It's a lot.
We're going to have another one here soon with Paul Skeens. Hey, when's Paul coming to Baltimore? Is he coming with you next year?
They come to Baltimore.
No, I was talking about next year coming to play for Baltimore. You and Paul Skeens next year? I'm just kidding.
Just a trade.
Don't answer that question.
Don't answer that question.
I like Carlos Lee for a Houston 100 RBI season. I think he's pretty rare.
100 RBI?
Go with that.
I'm good with that.
Caballo.
Because I think a lot of people are going to say Berkman or
That,
Bagwell.
yeah.
I like that one.
Nice.
Look at that guy's face. 200 pitching wins for A's. Tim Hudson comes to mind.
I got Houston, Arizona. Gurriel.
Yuli Gurriel or Lourdes Gurriel?
Gurriel Jr., whoever the hell's playing for Arizona right now.
But Yuli Gurriel played for Houston. His little brother Lourdes Gurriel Jr. plays
Jesus
for Arizona.
Yeah.
Figure it out. As he's eating cold pizza.
No, freshly baked pizza. That's why I keep going to the side here, because I just got called into work.
200 career win. God,
it went away, Brooks.
Why? I don't understand. I didn't press it.
200 career wins for Arizona Diamondbacks.
Mark,
right?
No, A's.
The two easy ones are Schilling and Johnson.
Well,
yeah, but we're on the wrong category.
No,
A's 200 wins. Eckersley, but he closed for a while.
I was gonna say like Mark
Riley
Mulder
for a while. Barry Zito, Mark Mulder, Tim Hudson come to mind for sure. Houston pitchers, we already said. You could put Greinke. You could put. Actually, I don't know if Greinke has 200 wins.
Verlander have 200.
Verlander almost certainly does. Verlander
yeah,
needs 3 straight.
He's chasing 3. He's chasing 3 right now. All right, let's do Houston. And who do we feel? Do we think Oswald had 200
for them, right?
Yeah.
Right? Wasn't it Clemens, Pettit, and Oswald at one point their rotation?
Yeah.
I would be shocked.
I feel like people
had 200 wins.
People probably forgot that.
I don't know though. How long did he play?
95. Oh, we got it. 9%.
Right.
I didn't mean to click that.
I like it. I think that's a good pick.
A's. I feel like one of those big time guys probably didn't get 200 plus wins.
How long did Tim Hudson play? Just type in his name and see what his career is. Because if he pitched for like Tim period Hudson, 95 to 2015,
16 years.
Seems like
he had to.
I don't know. I mean, I'm not confident in it. Mulder didn't pitch for as long, and Zito.
Zito had a short.
His peak was shorter.
Yeah,
but he did have kind of a resurgence with the Giants.
Yeah, I don't think he got 200 though. Let's do Hudson.
Eckersley might be there, but like I said, he closed games.
So
let's go.
18%. Right. Not good.
That's not a great one.
Not good.
I mean, I can't think of a single Pirate besides Garrett Cole. I don't think he has 200 wins yet, though. Does he?
No.
Saberhagen?
He pitched for the Pirates?
One of the Bennis brothers? Andy Bennis?
Who? Benson?
No, Bennis, Bynes, I think. I think Saber. Oh, what about
Brooks? Go with Tommy Pham for the bottom left. We got to get Tim's answer on here. All right, there we go. I like that. 10%. I think anything under like 10 or 15% is pretty good. I so struggling with Houston
and Arizona.
It's the only person I can think
Pittsburgh 100 RBI seasons. Freddie Sanchez.
Christian Walker played for both.
Oh yeah.
Oh, good call. Good call.
Sorry, you said that already. 10%.
10%'s not bad.
100 RBI seasons. Ralph Kiner.
He's
like Ralph Kiner, an old guy that is going to be probably a low number.
For who? For what?
For the 100 RBI for Pittsburgh. He's a Hall of Famer.
Let's do it. How do you remember Ralph Kiner?
Because there was a old story in Pittsburgh. He was on MLB The Show. I played all the time, but there was an old Pittsburgh guy came into the bar one time and said that he might as well just carry 2 bats to the stadium instead of a glove because he didn't ever need his glove because he was so bad in the outfield. A's and D-backs.
A's Diamondbacks, tough.
Fucking Dan Herron.
That's who I was thinking
Dan
of.
Herron, right?
Yeah. Yep. 100%.
Haren.
100%.
There
14%.
we go.
Pittsburgh 200 wins. Tim, you should know this.
Should I?
No, but people will say that you should because you've played half a season there.
Who had a weird Pittsburgh year? Who were like who's the best pitcher? Who would Pittsburgh say is their best pitcher ever? I can't think of anyone. Not exactly a factory of pitching.
Ida Blue?
Ida Blue played for the A's though, right?
Good talk. All right, so
How can you say it's not a factory of pitching?
Oh, well, a factory of pitching for other teams.
you're in Florida.
Sorry, Tim. I know you're on the team. I love you. Glass now. Garrett Cole.
I really think Saberhagen was there.
Saberhagen.
Cole.
AJ
Cole didn't have
Burnett.
200.
AJ Burnett. He pitched forever.
He did. I mean, he probably got a lot with.
Liriano definitely doesn't have 200 wins.
No. 16 years.
16.
Got a lot of Yankees wins.
Who's that? Cole?
I think you should go old school.
AJ Burnett. Why?
You gotta go old school in this one. What guys got wins? Because now, I mean, wins mean nothing.
Yeah, but name some old school pitchers for the Pirates.
That's why I
That's
said
half,
Saberhagen.
half the problem. Are we sure Saberhagen played for that?
I don't know. I know he.
I thought he
played
was
for
a
the
Mets
Royals.
guy.
I thought he played for the Royals forever, and I know he played for the Mets too. Yeah.
Son of a.
I'm going Rick Russell. He played for the Giants.
This is where we need Picktown Sports in the chat.
Like lighter, like one of the lighters.
I mean, I thought Al Leiter, but I don't think he played for Pittsburgh. He
I don't
played
think
for
he did
the
either.
whole rest of that division, though. I think.
Do we want to just try AJ Burnett? I feel like that's our best
Yeah.
guess.
I feel like Garrett Cole is probably more likely has 200 wins than Burnett. How long's Garrett Cole been in the league?
Not long enough.
So he's the same age as me, I
But
believe.
once again, there's not a lot of wins there because
Yeah, you're
you
right.
11. I don't
11
know.
years. Houston and
Between-
the
I
Yankees.
played
That's
Houston
20 a
and New
year,
York.
though. That's not happening.
I
That's 20
played.
a year.
Oh fuck! I didn't mean to press that.
Oh, you loser.
All right, let's see.
Who are the guys?
Uh,
Show summary. Hit on the right.
There.
On the right.
Shot.
Under 173, it says show summary.
Oh,
And then you can go down to each block and see what the go to the Pittsburgh.
Bert Blyleven.
Blyleven, give me a break. Who are the 14 guys that have 200 wins?
Cy Young. Ever heard of him?
Cy Young, give me a break. Greg Maddux pitched for the Pirates?
What?
I had no idea.
Oh no. It's not.
Wait.
It's just showing everyone that has 200 wins. That's weird.
I clicked on Pirates. Did I not show the 14? Maybe it's below. Get out of here.
Saberhagen would have been a bad choice.
Why? Why is this not showing me Pittsburgh?
That's weird.
I want to know.
200 career wins, Pirates. All right, Tim. We'll get you out of here while we're doing kind of dead air right now. You've been on for long enough. We really appreciate you coming on. We love you. Good luck with the rest of your rehab. And
Any idea when you're going to be in Indy?
back to the bigs.
Is that still TBD?
Yeah, it's still TBD. I would say sometime in and around the 25th.
Oh, this
Okay.
month?
Yeah.
Yeah, that would only make sense.
Yep. So maybe give or take a few days, but
Okay.
All right.
Let's do it.
All right. Thanks for having me on, guys.
Good seeing you,
See
buddy.
All right. You
Take
care,
buddy.
man.
All right, see you.
See you, man. All righty. That was Tim Mayza. Thank you very much for coming on. We appreciate you, man. When I type in Pittsburgh 200 wins, there's only one guy who did it, but he had all 200 wins with the Pittsburgh Pirates. So it doesn't matter for Immaculate Grid's sake if you do everyone with the same team, but I'm having trouble finding it. But anyway, that was a fun one. I like it when they do the little stats, but I mean, Pittsburgh 200 game winner is that's a hard one. I don't really know that one. Couple of things around the MLB before we switch to the NFL, which will be probably the last thing we do because I'm getting crunch for time here.
Same.
Red Sox signed Roman Anthony to an 8-year extension worth $130 million. He's the rookie outfield sensation that's been playing really, really well for them so far this year, hitting .283 with a .400 on base in his first 46 games of his career. So doing some pretty good stuff. They get him locked down early. This is similar to the Ozzie Albies, Ronald Acuna type deals you saw with the Braves make. And Red Sox fans were probably clamoring for this after they traded Rafael Devers and freed up all that money because the front office said that they were going to be reinvesting it. So,
and there are escalators that make the contract go up to $230 million.
Really? Okay. See, I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm. I saw it last night on the ticker. So, because that first number was a little deceiving. 8 years or whatever it was like, that's a steal. But escalators, which probably means roster bonuses, or you make an all-star team, something like
that. Nice. Other stuff I wanted to note MLB wise. Shohei Ohtani had a start the other day where he had 4 innings pitched and he fanned 8 in those 4 innings. He also got his 1,000th hit and his 39th homer of the season in that game, and the Dodgers still lost. But he struck out 8 guys and got his 1,000th hit in the same game. Just a ridiculous thing that's happening every single week. I keep bringing up these Ohtani things that he's doing, but I mean, it's just unbelievable. Kyle Schwarber hit his 40th home run against the Orioles this week, I believe, in Grand Slam fashion. That was a really frustrating one. That game was ugly. And that's pretty much all I have around the league. Pretty much chalk around the league for the Orioles right now. We're just going to see a bunch of these young guys come up and hopefully they're able to play some good ball, and we'll have a better chance in 2026. But what's going on, Brooks?
Trying to get this thing to focus on me and not my microphone.
Micah Parsons requested a trade for ESPN.
Yeah,
throwing it out there.
Yeah, what do we think about the stuff that he said in that little note? Kind of just basically saying, I've seen people ask for trades and then change. Like we saw Myles Garrett do this last year, and then the Cleveland Browns offered him $40 million.
You say last year, but it was not. It was a couple months ago.
Yeah. So, but Parsons seemed like he was going a little bit harder on the Cowboys. He looked like he was kind of going in on the Cowboys and kind of disparaging the organization a little bit for how they've handled this contract. I think a $40 million plus check guaranteed a year will smooth that relationship over quickly. But it seems like the Cowboys didn't really have any interest in dealing with Parsons as of a couple of weeks ago. What do you guys make of this? Do you think he's on the Cowboys at the beginning of the year? I think so, but you guys go ahead.
Brooksy, you want to take this?
Yeah, we talked about this a little on Tuesday. I think he's going to end up there. I think a deal is going to end up getting done. Everything, all this stuff with like deleting your Instagram or like your social media and stuff like that is just all leverage plays at this point. It's almost like in the agent handbook at this point. Like it's like if we're not getting the deal we want, like here's the next step, right? The only guy that I completely, I mean, I guess I agree with Micah Parsons in wanting a new deal. But the other guy that I completely agree with as well is Trey Hendrickson in trying to get a new deal as well. But yeah, I think a deal does end up getting done here. He's not going to get traded.
Michael Parsons has taken the high road in all of this. Forget like the washing of social media. That's just child's play. Jerry Jones is coming off like an absolute moron. He said he didn't know the name of Michael Parsons' agent. That's a lie. The reason we know it's a lie is because one of the other high-profile players, I'm forgetting off the top of my head, is represented by the same agent. So that's BS.
I mean, he's the biggest agent in the league at this point.
Yeah, without a doubt. And also, Jerry Jones said that him and Stephen Jones had a handshake agreement with Michael Parsons last year. Then why did you write up paperwork? I'm just going to throw it out there. And also, per the CBA, you're not allowed to actually deal with a player directly if they have an agent. So unlike Lamar Jackson, who is his own agent, Micah has to, and Jerry Jones has to go through Micah's agent, who apparently Jerry Jones doesn't know who he is. So there's a lot of weird stuff going on here. I do think that Michael Parsons wants to be a Cowboy because it's more lucrative to be a Cowboy. But this just seems like a bunch of shadow games. And Micah, when asked to do the team photo, put his pads on first. He does it. It's just like this is like get in my sandbox and I'm taking my ball home at some point or another.
Micah's playing the game, man. I mean, he's frustrated. I get it.
When Jerry Jones says he doesn't know,
Jerry Jones doesn't know who his agent is. He's got to have dementia. He's got to have dementia, right? I mean,
look, I think this is just a big stunt ploy to keep the Cowboys relevant and keep them being talked about as we lead into the football season. I don't think there's any way you can let Michael Parsons out of the building. I think in his first 4 years in the NFL, he's got like 50 plus sacks,
three-time
like
All-Pro,
12 plus sacks in all 4 of his seasons in the NFL, and he wasn't even healthy for all 4 of those years. It's been ridiculous. The guy's clearly one of the most talented players in the league. You can't let him out the door. I don't care how much it costs you. I think he's going to.
They could have signed him last year for $34 million. For all these other guys got big contracts. Max Crosby and Myles Garrett and TJ Watt and 34, 35. And then by the way, it would have hurt us. You could have signed Derrick Henry if you would have saved that money. No big deal. But go ahead and screw yourself. It's totally fine. It's like watching the Cleveland Browns, but with a bigger star on their head. So
it's going to be like the Dak contract last year. It's going to come out like right before the first game of the year, and then everyone's going to keep talking about the Cowboys, and it's just a big Cowboys fucking ploy for ESPN and Jerry Jones and everyone.
And we're talking about it right now.
Yep.
But
other guys who that's
our Dallas Cowboys talk for the day.
Other
Good
guys
job, guys.
who want a new contract. Trey Hendrickson still wants a new contract. Cam Hayward of the Pittsburgh Steelers. As of this afternoon. Apparently has not participated in a full practice yet this summer as he awaits a restructured contract that has not gotten done yet. He has 2 years remaining on his contract. This via Adam Schefter. $14.75 million this season with $13.45 million he's already been paid, and the same amount next year, 14.5. Apparently he wants more money, and that's probably bad news for a Pittsburgh Steelers team who just shelled out a ton of money on DK Metcalf and TJ Watt
and Jalen Ramsey and
yeah. It's going to be tough for the Steelers. So that's a huge anchor of their defense and has been for a long time. You do not want to get
the Steelers not doing Steeler things is going to come back to bite them at some point or another. And this has nothing to do with Aaron Rodgers. When you go away from your own methodology, good luck, man, because now you're outside of your comfort zone. I don't care how good.
You got to adapt at some point, right? I mean, they never used to sign like outside guys and just developed with it in-house. And I get that. And the Ravens tried to do or have done basically tried to be them and have done that really well. But we still go out and sign guys like Derrick Henry and DeAndre Hopkins and Anquan Bolden and whoever else you want to bring up. But
we've also kind of morphed a little bit, Brooksy. Like we kind of go that Philadelphia Eagles methodology where we sign guys early to make sure that we have that going back to the Cowboys, not to make fun of anything. Instead of overpaying late, we early pay light.
Yep.
Either that or they get rid of.
They sell a year early instead of a year
defensive
late.
ends that we've developed so good for so long.
Yep.
I mean, the first one that I can remember was probably Peter Boulware or Thomas, Adalius Thomas.
Adalius Thomas. who ended up being a really good player for the Pats for a while.
I agree.
Some bad looks like bad news for the San Diego Chargers, the Los Angeles Chargers. All pro left tackle Rashawn Slater has been carted off the field with a leg injury.
Damn.
That is bad news. That is as of 30 minutes ago.
I want to qualify this, Dusty.
Yeah.
People are jonesing for football so hard. Carted off the field could legit mean he rolled his ankle.
Yeah, I know. Justin Fields got stepped on his toe, and he's fine. I'm just letting you know. That's not fun. Apparently, teammates were coming up to the cart and giving him hugs. That's why I said usually that's a bad sign for the player. But anyway, hopefully for the Chargers' sake, he's able to play, and honestly for football's sake, because that guy's really good. And I would be excited to see that offense this year.
And they'd also just signed Keenan Allen back.
Mm-hmm. Did they really?
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I didn't
this
know
week, couple days, maybe just yesterday. I don't know.
Oh, and hey, people are now. Sorry. Shedeur Sanders is getting a start in Cleveland, and everyone's saying that Cleveland is setting him up for failure. How about if he didn't play? What would you be saying then? This is what Cleveland did to themselves. This is gorgeous to watch.
Do not want to talk about Shedeur Sanders at all.
We're starting Shedeur Sanders. That's a negative. Why?
Dude, Joe Flacco is going to play. We already know it. Congratulations to Ryan O'Homer, who tied the game for the Padres in the 9th with a homer last night. That was awesome to see. But the last topic I want to get into NFL-wise, and probably for our show today, because once again, I think Brian has got to go to work, and so do I. This ESPN NFL Network stuff. Can we please talk about this? I feel like I said this before the pod. I feel like it's been kind of getting swept under the rug a little bit. I feel like ESPN acquiring NFL Network and the rights to Red Zone from the NFL for an equity stake. I feel like it's kind of a big deal as we approach the NFL season in just under a month now. And we don't really know how we're going to be getting Red Zone, if it's going to affect this year. Maybe we do know that. Do you guys have more information on it? Brian, let's go to you first, because you seem the most knowledgeable on it. As far as
I've read so much on this because I'm so interested in all this. And I know it's been going on. The contractual negotiations are going on for about 3 years. A guy named Michael McCarthy, not the former coach of the Packers and the Cowboys. He said basically what ESPN did is they bought themselves an insurance policy. The NFL got 10% of ESPN, which was valued at $22 or $28.2 billion. So the NFL Network the NFL got 10% of them. From that, ESPN gets 3 more games, which can be shown on NFL Network, which is now Disney/ESPN.
Mm-hmm.
They also get the rights to not only Red Zone itself, NFL Red Zone, but also the naming rights to Red Zone. So they could do an NBA Red Zone. They could do a college football Red Zone. I'm making up stuff.
College football Red Zone needs to happen.
Yeah, but they get the naming rights to all that stuff. Now, what Michael McCarthy said is the NFL is so strategically placed that you have 1:00 games, 4:30 games, and you have the night game. College football is all over the map because of time zones. So they'll deal with that later, but you at least get the naming rights to it. Also, ESPN now has the rights to all of NFL Network's fantasy football leagues /betting. So you get all of that profit. Plus, with streaming services becoming so ridiculously over the top, you avoid some cord cutting that will happen, because if you don't have ESPN Plus, but you still want to watch football games, you need to have ESPN. So you then have to go through those broadcast channels. So this is basically what he was getting at, is this is an insurance policy. NFL Network has been a fledgling piece of trash for a long period of time. And then what the NFL did is they cut a shitload of people from it to make it even more of a piece of trash, and they sold it off to ESPN. So it looks great for the NFL. That's the easiest way I can put it. But nothing really is going to change. Scott Hansen is still going to be on your TV when you wake up for the first week of the NFL
That's
season.
not guaranteed right now.
And next year. Right now it is, because it's contractually obligated through the NFL Network, which is now owned by ESPN. Now, the deal cannot be finalized until the end of 2026, because they have to go through all the regulatory, the government, everyone has to check out all that stuff. Yeah, the legalese has to happen. So they have
a agreement in place. Like they basically have an agreement signed.
Correct. Okay. That's the easiest way I can put all of that. I know that's a lot of mumbo jumbo.
Yeah.
So.
I have a question. So I thought, based on the limited reading that I've done, and just reading headlines, that they just purchased Red Zone, the rights to Red Zone, and not the entire NFL network.
The entire NFL network is now theirs.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. So all the talent. So when the actual ink is signed in, I guess, late 2026, early 2027, checks will start coming from the Disney Corporation as opposed to the NFL.
Gotcha, man. Good for ESPN, because they're going all in to try to save basically their brand at this point.
And if you think about it, ESPN also purchased a lot of the NBA. Now, I'm not saying NBA. I still say NBA on TNT. They're not going to do that because you want to hear Barkley and Shaq and Kenny go after each other the entire time. They're not going to regulate those guys. But they can do some sort of NBA red zone if they wanted to. So you can see you can see the tea leaves, but it's going to be 2, 3, 4 years down the road. But really, from the end user perspective, we're not really going to see a difference. A lot of the same talent.
Well, I mean, you bring up NBA, but they've also they just got a new deal done with the MLB for Sunday Night Baseball. They got a new deal done with the NHL. They're showing a ton of NHL games as of last year or 2 years ago. I forget when that deal got done. They're also licensing Pat McAfee's show. They are basically, it seems like whoever the higher ups who are open to innovating. What's that?
It's a guy named Jimmy Bataro. That's the guy who's really running the ship here. And really what I think the big deal is, and look, I'm not some sports business journalist or anything, but they run the SEC network, and the SEC and the Big Ten basically run college football. You can really do an SEC red zone, which I think could be good because everyone's in the same time zone-ish.
Oh, yeah.
That's
SEC and Big Ten red zone would be awesome, too. That'd be sweet.
They've got so many options.
Fox, yeah.
I mean, I got to give credit where credit's due. I mean, we hate on ESPN a ton and all of that. I mean, they were a dying product for a long time. Over the last couple of years, they have basically tried to figure out a way to stay relevant, and
they're throwing eggs in a basket, man. And they have hitched their wagons to this. I mean, this
broad.
is a big one.
They're getting all the sports. I mean, they're trying to at least. I mean, WWE is under there. I know this is all falling under the Disney umbrella, but they've basically made big deals with every sport, every major sport at this point that I can think of, minus
even
minus the NFL. But I mean, this is a big play getting Red Zone and buying their network. So, because obviously
buying the rights to the name Red Zone, just the name Red Zone immediately gets in.
Yeah.
Even like my mother, who has no idea what the hell, like really the Ravens starting center is, knows NFL Red Zone, which is stunning. So you get that going and see what happens.
Yeah, and Joe, I'm a huge Rich Eisen fan. I mean, I don't know. It's going to be weird seeing him on ESPN. A lot of guys are going to
stay on their same network. So like Rich Eisen's still going to stay on Roku, but ESPN now has the ability to broadcast Rich Eisen from Roku at the same time.
Yeah.
Just like McAfee is on ESPN and YouTube at the same time. Just kind of give you a little.
Yeah, this is going to be interesting. I need to read up on this more. This is super interesting because I didn't realize that they bought the entire NFL network. And that makes sense because like you said, like we talked about a little bit before, it's probably a little bit of a conflict of interest. And Eisen basically is the one who spearheaded making that network with a couple other guys. And when he left ESPN to go do that. So it's super interesting. I need somebody to write like a full-fledged article of the ins and outs so I can understand, like feel more confident and understand it a little bit more. But
read a guy named Michael McCarthy.
Okay.
He's like a sports business journal guy, and also Andrew Marchand has got a great article on it as well. And look, it's very convoluted. It's going to take maybe 2 or 3 reads, but I definitely read up on Michael McCarthy's twice. And I listened to him talk on one of the talk shows. Can't remember. But I think right now the biggest loser in all this is Fox, who's like trying to pump up their like Fox big game. What is their like their college game day?
Big game Sunday, or Big Ten kickoff.
Big Ten kickoff. Like that's the biggest loser in all of this.
Yeah, the best thing they got to compete right now is Urban Meyer and
Matt Leinart, Reggie Bush,
Tim Tebow, I believe, is there. And we also forget who. Shit. Well, I guess they have kind of Barstool a little bit now too with Portnoy going over there.
Yeah, this is actually a direct play, I think, at Portnoy.
Yeah, I wonder if it's just if just Portnoy, if they're getting the whole like crew of certain
all
guys.
Barstool, I think.
They're getting
PMT
like it's Portnoy
it's
Portnoy every week, and Big Cat and PMT are like random weeks throughout the season. They're not every week, but they're going to be there sometimes.
And someone brought up a good point. I don't remember who it was. So I'd love to give credit where credit is due, but it's like, all right, the NFL draft. All right, you have ESPN, you have NFL Network. Those are the two that we always go to, right, to watch who's getting drafted. Is Mike Greenberg going to be on the NFL side, like on NFL Network? And is Rich Eisen going to be on ESPN's? Like, is Mel Kiper going to be over on the NFL? Like,
I don't really know. I think they're going to be able to cross promote as much as they want, but they could also, I mean, eventually just dissolve the network and just use its assets for themselves, right? You know what I mean? So we'll see what ends up happening in the future, but I think it's going to be a little bit of the ways down the road. Just some housekeeping stuff from earlier in the podcast. AJ Burnett, 164 career wins.
So we were wrong anyway.
Garrett Cole, 153 career wins. I looked through all of the guys that have 200 wins and looked at every Pirates guy. There is only two that I've ever heard of. One of them was Burt Blyleven. The other, Tim Wakefield. Exactly 200 wins in his career. Pitched 2 years with the Pirates before playing like 18 years with the Boston Red Sox.
R.I.P.
Yeah, R.I.P. The rest of the guys for the Pirates all pitched before like 1915, and they have some Scuffy McGee type names: Whirly Bird, Dervish, whatever. Anyway,
three fingers McGee. By the way, something we didn't get to on Tuesday, and Dusty, I know you run around. If you haven't seen the Jared Allen speech at the Hall of Fame enshrinement, it's a must-watch. Goodbye, Dusty.
Goodbye, Toby. All right. I guess Brooks is gone.
I don't know. I think like all hell broke loose over. I think I saw him fall off the stool. So
God. His camera's broken for the second time. But anyway, we're gonna
Jared Allen's enshrinement speech is unbelievable.
Yeah.
Just definitely watch that one. It's pretty damn good.
All right, guys, have a wonderful weekend. Happy Thursday. Happy Marlin Week. We will see you next week on Tuesday for our normally scheduled program. And hopefully the Orioles will win all of their games the rest of the year and win the World Series, but I don't think it's going to happen. Hopefully Rashawn Slater's all right. Hopefully CJ Gardner-Johnson is all right. Apparently he went down with a leg injury today too. That's bad news for the Houston Texans, who are trying to bounce back after a tough season. So anyway, we will see y'all when we see you, and happy Thursday.
All right, boys. See you.
See ya. I tried to hold that to the end, but couldn't do it.